Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Reading inside, a little hot out.
Very hot out.
Okay, where are we reading from?
Canto 4, chapter 20, text 1.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. New chapter. Chapter is entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance and the Sacrificial Arena of Maharaj Prithu. And sorry about that. And for me, the last chapter was amazing. This one, maybe even a little bit better.
Oh. Alright, let's see. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, being very much satisfied by the performance of 99 horse sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, appeared on the scene. Accompanying him was King Indra. Lord Vishnu then began to speak. Text 2. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, being very much satisfied by the performance of 99 horse sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, appeared on the scene. Accompanying him was
You just read it.
Well, why did it repeat itself? Look.
It doesn't matter. You just read it.
Lord have mercy. It's the humidity. It's the humidity.
Yeah.
Text 2.
Lack of humility.
Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, my dear King Prithu, Indra, the King of
You
Heaven.
just read that.
No, that's 2. I read 1.
Okay.
Oh, well, now who's having a senior moment?
Well, yes, exactly.
Alright, take 2. Hello. Alright, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, my dear King Prithu, Indra, the King of Heaven, has disturbed your execution of 100 sacrifices. Now he has come with me to be forgiven by you. Therefore excuse him. Oh my days. Isn't that the most controversial of controversies? Purport. In this verse, the word Atmanam is very significant. It is a custom among yogis and gyanis to address one another, or even an ordinary man, as oneself. For a transcendentalist never accepts a living being to be the body. Since the individual self is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self and the super self are qualitatively non-different. As the next verse will explain, the body is only a superficial covering, and consequently an advanced transcendentalist will not make a distinction between oneself and another. The purport doesn't do anything for me in relation to the controversial verse, personally, because the verse is controversial. I mean, Lord Brahma has already pacified Prithu, and you think, alright, not really into it, okay, I'll back off. I mean, I'm just speaking as Prithu Maharaj, alright, let it go, yeah, alright. But then Lord Vishnu has to come down and rub the salt in, because he comes down and he brings Indra, who caused all this mess, and says, look, he's come to be forgiven by you, therefore forgive him. Do you see? It's like if you have again that example of siblings and they're fighting, and your 2 kids are fighting, and then we were saying previously, it's like appealing to the older one, saying, anyway, let your little brother have this, whatever, let it go. That's one thing. And then let's say they're fighting, and you're like, look, your little brother wants to say sorry, so you better forgive him. Wait a minute. Let him say sorry first, and let me decide if I forgive him. It's like, you better forgive him. He's come to say sorry. That's a classic. That is. So, yeah, it's a bit much. And the verse, the purport somehow, because I'm not on a transcendental level, doesn't seem to relate to what I think stands out in the verse and needs addressing. I see.
Okay. Text 3. O king, one who is advanced in intelligence and eager to perform welfare activities for others is considered best among human beings. An advanced human being is never malicious to others. Those with advanced intelligence are always conscious that this material body is different from the soul. Those with advanced intelligence are always conscious that this material body is different from the soul. Purport. In daily life, we find that when a madman commits murder, he is excused even by a high court judge. The idea is that a living entity is always pure because he is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he falls into the clutches of the material energy, he becomes a victim of the three modes of material nature. Indeed, whatever he does under the influence of material nature, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 5.14. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya sri jati prabhu. Na karma pala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Yeah, this is interesting point, the whole modes of material nature. An advanced human being is never malicious to others. That's very powerful. We should never be malicious to others. And those with advanced intelligence are always conscious that this material body is different from the soul. But the part that always gets me is the aspect of the modes of material nature are enacting things and activities. It's not actually the soul, the jiva soul. And that's really hard because we think we're doing it. But the point is that the agency of the material energy, which Krishna has put into motion, is moving everything. The jiva isn't actually moving it. And the Krishna, as the super soul within the heart, he is also facilitating. So he's permitting, he's the permitter. And then he's the permitter, and then the material energy is the facilitator. And it's producing all of these things. So simply the soul is desiring, but the soul isn't actually really doing anything. And nothing can happen without the sanction of the Lord. And the sanction of the Lord and the facilitation of the material energy. Without those two, it's not going on. It's not happening. Anyway, it's an interesting perspective and thought.
Okay, next paragraph. Actually, the living entity of soul does not do anything. Everything is done under the influence of the modes of material nature. When a man is diseased, the symptoms of the disease become a source of all kinds of pain. Those who are advancing transcendental consciousness or Krishna consciousness are never envious, neither of the soul nor of the activities of the soul under the influence of material nature. Advanced transcendentalists are called Sudhiya. Sudhi means intelligence, Sudhi means highly advanced, and Sudhi means devotee. One who is both devoted and highly advanced in intelligence does not take action against the soul or the body. If there is any discrepancy, he forgives. It is said that forgiveness is the quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. Yeah, it's true.
Did you just send a quote like this the other day?
Yeah.
Forgiveness. Where is that from? from
Martin
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. You gonna look it up?
Yeah, but you can keep talking.
Oh, thanks. Yes, it's a tricky one because sensitivity has to be applied. In order to forgive someone, it means that someone has hurt me, so I need to forgive you. Otherwise, there's nothing to forgive. So in that sense, one has to be sensitive to the degree as to how deep someone has got cut, as to how they will quickly bounce back and forgive. That's one point. Another point is that one can forgive others, but it doesn't mean that you all hold hands and sing Ring a Ring of Roses. Those of you who are from the UK will know what that reference is. Those of you from the UK will get that reference. You don't need to do that. Doesn't mean... Yeah, that's another thing I found where people, yeah, so you should give them. Okay, I forgive them. So why you need to invite them here? Why you need to go talk to them? Who says I need to do all that just because to forgive them? Doesn't mean you need to come a ringside view into my life again. Yeah, you know. So there is that, and I do feel it's quite dangerous when it's like, no, forgive them, no, kiss and make up, no, become friends, no. But someone hurt you, so you forgive them. They don't live rent-free in your mind. You don't need to become all weird when they're around because it's about your own self-respect more than them. But beyond that, they don't need to come into your inner circle, as it were. I mean, what does everyone think?
Yes, everyone. What do you think? I want to hear from you.
Yeah. You've got to say.
Well, first thing I have to say is when you said ring a roses, it like blew my mind because I thought, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's because you're from America, so you don't know.
No, we call it ring around the rosy.
Oh, Americans are just so weird. They got everything upside down.
So I had to quickly look it up.
Of course.
And it is both. It is accepted as both. Ring a roses and ring around the rosy.
Ring around the rosy.
And it's actually quite a dark thing.
It is, that I know, yeah.
It's a nursery rhyme historically connected not to the Black Death, but to the playful dance practices in the 19th century America and England during a time when dancing was socially discouraged. The rhyme was part of play parties where children would sing and move in circles, simulating courtship and crushes, often featuring a child in the middle as a rosy or rose bush symbolizing love. The version most known today was popularized over 100 years ago and published in Kate Greenway's Mother Goose and Old Nursery Rhymes.
No, my understanding is it is relating to the Black Death because you say a tissue, all fall down, that means they're dead basically. Because you get the disease or virus or whatever. But as kids, you don't realise that, so we're just like basically making fun of this very sad time when people got this virus and died, basically. It's only when I was much older, I might have been in uni or something, and then I realised it. I was, oh my goodness, this is quite dark. But I don't think people really want to be waiting for you to be reading up on Ring a Roses. So I'm going to move on because when he gets absorbed, it's all over. Right, next.
Anyways, the whole thing, I just found some interesting points there.
Me and the viewers are moving on.
Okay. Calm yourself down, young lady. Okay, so text 4.
If a personality...
Hello?
No, because you're reading, so we'll move on.
We're going to have a little bit of an awkward situation.
Domestic?
No, because that could be implied, like, you can mean it in a simple way, like, just a slight argument. But
well, that's what it means in England. In America, it just means a different thing.
Text 4. if a personality like you, who are so much advanced in executing the instructions of the previous acharyas, is carried away by the influence of my material energy, then all your advancement may be considered simply a waste of time. Well, I think this is Vishnu speaking, right?
It's Lord Vishnu.
Mm. Okay, let me read the purport.
Yeah.
In this verse, the word Vritasevaya is very significant. Vrita means old, Sevaya means by service. Perfect knowledge is acquired from the acharyas or liberated souls. No one can be perfect in knowledge without being trained by the parampara system. Prithu Maharaj was completely trained in that line, therefore he did not deserve to be considered an ordinary man. An ordinary man who has only a conception of bodily existence is also bewildered by the modes of material nature. Okay, interesting. If a personality like you, and he's talking to Prithu Maharaj, right?
Yeah.
Personality like you, Prithu Maharaj, who are so much advanced in executing the instructions of the previous acharyas, is carried away by the influence of my material energy, then all your advancement may be considered simply a waste of time. So, it's interesting. It sounds like Vishnu is like cutting him up, you know? It's just giving him a hard time. He's like, basically, if you're, affected by the material energy, because he's just talking about the fact that we should see everyone equal, we should give up kind of enmity, please excuse him, like this. So, yeah, Vishnu's sort of like, yeah, if, you're supposed to be a great soul, and if you're affected by the material energy, then, all of your progress is simply a waste of time. Okay. Should we stop there?
We're going to stop there.
All right.
Very hot.
All right, thank you all very, very much for tolerating us and joining in. Please make sure you put some comments below and like the program and watch the episodes again and again and again.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.